Good morning class, how are you all? Today we are going to discuss one special topic in the not-for-profit organization. Then we are going to deal with one question, and after that we will conclude this chapter. And after concluding this chapter, you have to keep in mind one thing, that you need to practice more and more number of questions so that you can have master on not for profit organization. You have to practice in such a way where you can find no more difficulty in solving any of the question in not for profit organization. So today I'm going to discuss about one special topic, or you can say that one special case where you have to calculate the amount according to the need and requirement, or you can say where we need to calculate the amount when we have the less information or inadequate information, or you can say that though the information have been provided but not provided in a hierarchical manner, or you can say that information have been provided but the information were in a splitted form, like outstanding, advance, beginning, end, in this manner. So what happens sometimes while preparing not for profit organization, we came to know about many of the expenses which were specific in nature. See, I am not talking about specific and general item, I am talking about specific nature. What happens when a NPO doing certain activity? Here what NPO does, he used to calculate, or NPO used to calculate a total or lump sum amount in the in his book. What happens here, when he calculate the total amount, at that time he is not segregating the amount, that the particular amount is for what purpose, that particular amount for what purpose. They are just summing up the all the factors and they make it one as an expense, and we need to calculate the exact amount what is needed to be present in income and expenditure account. And so for that purpose you need to focus in my copy what am I writing, because you will find that sometimes many of the things are like subscription only, but actually it's not subscription. You are just calculating the amount what is to be presented in the book of not for profit organization. Moreover, remember one thing, we are again working in the current year. Just don't take it otherwise or other factor that we have to take the data of previous year or we have to take the data of next year. We are calculating each and every factors or each and every items on current year basis, because we make NPO or we prepare NPO for the value or the balances for current year only. Now please pay attention what am I writing. Basically what we are doing here, we are determining item of expenses from receipt and payment account. Just listen to my words, what am I saying to you. We are determining items of expenses from receipt and payment account, and what amount should be provided to the income and expenditure account, or what is the exact amount of expenses for the current year to be debited to income and expenditure account. Yes, now you will be provided with amount paid during the year. You will be provided with this item, that amount paid during the year, that is how much amount has been paid during the year. See, again, just remember the concept of subscription. What we used to add here, we used to add outstanding expenses. Just listen carefully, outstanding expenses at the end of current year. See, we are adding the outstanding expenses at the end of current year. Whatever the expenses remains outstanding in the end of current year, that's the amount to be added back. Now what we are doing here, we again need to add, what we are adding, we are adding prepaid expenses. See, we are adding prepaid expenses in the beginning of current year. What is happening here? We have made certain expenses on advance basis. Just remember one thing, we have made certain expenses of which the benefits we are going to get in whole year. So prepaid expenses, you can take the example like we have paid the rent of whole year in the month of April only, so that is the prepaid expenses. Now what we are going to deduct? Now subtract outstanding expenses. Outstanding expenses in the beginning of current year. See, in the beginning of current year, whatever the expenses which was remained outstanding in the previous year, then obviously that closing outstanding will become the opening outstanding this year, this current year. So that outstanding amount, whatever the outstanding amount has been presented here, that's became the beginning outstanding. So in any NPO or in any sector, you can't take outstanding expenses of beginning of current year as a additive purpose. We will take that amount as a deductive purpose. That is, we will deduct that amount because this belongs to the previous year, not of the current year. We will deduct this amount. Now again, what we have now, we again deduct or minus or subtract the prepaid expenses. We will deduct prepaid expenses at the end of current year. So in the end of current year only, you have paid certain amount for the next year, because prepaid expense is just like an advance, and advance is paid before. So when we have paid prepaid expenses, then obviously this prepaid expense belongs to the next year, but we are getting this prepaid expense at the end of current year. So whatever expense that belongs to next year we are getting in current year, that must be deducted. Now whatever the amount we get here, just listen carefully, whatever the amount we get here, this amount would be expenses of current year, and you have to write here to be debited to income and expenditure account. Why this case? Because when we prepare income and expenditure account, expenditure is at debit side, income is at credit side. So we will write here expenses, two expenses of current year. This would become the factor. Now have a look on this in a clear view. Is it okay, class? I don't think you are going to get any kind of doubt. If you have understood subscription, you might certainly get to this also. Now, to get this thing properly understood, I have one question. Have a look in this question. Have a look in this question. In this question, it is written that how are the following items dealt in preparing income and expenditure account for the year ended 31st March 20. Okay, we have the data as at 1st April 19, as at 31st March 20. Now we have sundry expenses outstanding, that is outstanding sundry expenses as at 1st April 19, 5,000. As at 31st March 20, 9,000. Then again we have the sundry expenses and we have the advance. So advance sundry expenses as at 1st April 19 is 8,000 rupees, and as at 31st March 20 we have 7,000 rupees. Now again one more line written here. It's written here, sundry expenses paid during the year ended 31st March 20 rupees 40,000. Okay, see this figure will be provided. How much expenses has been made relating to this item? So shall we continue? Okay. Okay class. Now we are going to solve this question. Solve this question in the way I have taught you the format according to this format. See, we will put each and every item in this matter only. Just remember one thing, NPO is one of the easiest chapter because you just have to understand the format. Once you get the format clearly, you are going to solve each and every question. Don't try to mug up all the format and all the other thing. You don't have to learn it. You just have to understand and express it in the paper. Okay, now back to the question. See, always start from what has been paid during the year. In the question, it is given that sundry expenses paid during the year ended 31st March 20 is rupees 40,000. Okay? Now, how will we write here? We will write sundry expenses paid during the year. What we will write here? Sundry expenses paid during the year. How much amount has been paid? 40,000 been paid. Now, what I told you, we have to add. What we have to do? We have to add. What we have to add? Sundry expenses paid in advance. Paid in advance. When? On 1st of April 19. How much amount we have paid as advance? We have paid 8,000 of rupees. We have paid 8,000 of rupees. Add this amount. Okay, again this amount became clear. Again we have to add one more thing. What's that thing? Sundry expenses. What kind of expenses? Outstanding. When outstanding? 31st March 20. That is outstanding at the end of current year. What is the amount we have? We have the amount 9,000 of rupee. See, all the amount has been done. Advance has been done. Now outstanding has been done. We have to deduct. What do we have to deduct? We have to deduct sundry expenses. Sundry expenses paid in advance. Paid in advance. When advance? 31st March 20. See, sundry expenses paid in advance on 31st March 20. See how much amount is given? It's given 7,000. We have to deduct this amount. Deduct 7,000. Okay. Again, we have to deduct something. Minus sundry expenses, that is outstanding. See, it's written here, outstanding. When? On 1st April 19. How much outstanding here 1st April 19? In the beginning of the year, 5,000. We will deduct 5,000. So keep that deducted amount in bracket. Now we will calculate. We have 40,000 plus 8,000 plus 9,000 minus 7,000 minus 5,000. We have the amount 45,000 came. See, we have 45,000. So here the amount we will write 45,000. Now what amount we got here? We will write sundry expenses to be debited to income and expenditure account. See, just remember one thing. This is the expense of current year. This is the amount of expense. This is the amount of expense of current year. See, have a look. Don't you think that this is one of the easiest process? As I told you earlier, NPO is one of the easiest paper or easiest chapter. You just have to keep patience and understand the concept. Whatever belongs to you for the current year, you have to ascertain that amount only. That is, the amount belongs to current year, not more than that. Let's go through the answer. Is it right? So that was quite easy. You just practice this question and hence you will find that you are also preparing all these things simultaneously without having any sort of problem or something like that.